Everyone, welcome back to yet another Polytalks video, where today we'll be discussing in our theme of Donald Trump's indictment and subsequent trials. This time we'll be discussing that how the Senate Republicans do not want Donald Trump to run in 2024 or pursue his already announced presidential campaign because of his legal baggage, which greatly weighs him down heading into 2024. And this is something which I think we could frankly all see coming, because 2 years ago, right after the insurrection on the United States Capitol, Mitch McConnell was very vocal against Donald Trump, and he was one of the first to kind of oppose him, if you will say, not in the way of complete ideological and political opposition, but in the way that Mitch McConnell was done with Donald Trump. He was done with the shenanigans, the baggage, the legal problems, and Mitch McConnell is ready to move on to someone new to lead the Republican conference. And that is one of the themes that I'll be discussing today, is that Republicans are looking, or specifically Republicans in the Senate, not necessarily Republicans in the public, are looking for a new leader to headline the Republican Party, because Donald Trump, contrary to where he was 4 years ago, is in a very poor position and will probably be one of the weakest Republican candidates they could field. Because there are other Republicans, if you'll recall, such as Ron DeSantis, any number of Republicans, and all of these Republicans, frankly, share the same ideological positions and policy positions as Donald Trump. However, the main difference is that Donald Trump Donald Trump is one of the uh, most baggage Republicans, and he has simply been weighed down by many, many scandals and opposition. And this will be a huge obstacle for him as he pursues his 2024 nomination. Because, yes, while it's true that Donald Trump still has a large support base, that cannot be understated. We do have to concede that these issues are making him much weaker against independents and turning off perhaps even some centrist Republicans who may have supported him 4 years ago, or should I say 7 years ago, because he was presented as a candidate who could really rally the Republican Party and was a very popular candidate at the time, but the insurrection, the indictment, all of this kind of contributes to his fall from grace. And the issue is that Republicans, yes, he may have a large support base, but that support base is only comparatively large. There is over half of the country that does not want to see Donald Trump elected as president, which means it would be almost impossible for him to win an election barring exceptional circumstances. So, hence explaining why the Senate GOP, which is one of the main kind of manifestations of the National Republican format, is beginning to avert their focus from Trump and looking towards other candidates that could absolutely defeat Joe Biden or some other Democratic candidate in 2024. Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, any number of Republicans could do what Trump did in 2016, and they could do it with a much higher degree of certainty that they would be elected. And Donald Trump, with all his scandals, just cannot do that. He is tainted now. His reputation is tainted, and that is not a good thing for Republicans in the 2024 election. But here's the issue, is probably the majority of the Republican base is still a supporter of Donald Trump, which means it is quite likely that he could win the primary in 2024, but definitely it is also likely that he would lose the general election. So we kind of have this issue for Republicans, which is they need to somehow sabotage Donald Trump in his primary campaign before he can sabotage the Republicans in the 2024 general election. So I expect, as we enter the 2024 primaries, which of course are over months and months away, I believe that Senate GOP will be looking to maybe subtly funnel money into different candidates, or kind of subtly sabotage Donald Trump, though he cannot continually harm the party, as we've seen in the last few years. The 2020 presidential election, the 2018 midterm elections, the 2021 Georgia runoff elections, the 2022 midterm elections. All of these elections, Donald Trump has been partially responsible, or fully responsible, I could say, for the Republicans' failure or lack of success. So he may have had one good election in 2016, but ever since then, Donald Trump has not been doing work for his party, has not been helping them substantially in any way, shape, or form, and I believe this will result in the Senate GOP, the Senate Republicans, deciding to stop their backing of Donald Trump and support a different candidate instead, who has a who has almost no baggage, but the same policy positions and rhetoric that was so successful for electing Trump in 2016. And one of those candidates, as I'll discuss in future videos, just might be Ron DeSantis. So that is all for this video, but I will of course be making more, and I hope that you can observe them and enjoy them in the coming days, and you can look forward to that. So with that, that's all for today. Thank you so much. I will see you in a future video. Goodbye.